Hello, everyone, and welcome to the channel, Shelly's Millions. It is the California EDD Q&A live. We can also talk about the Golden State stimulus. We can definitely talk about the Great Resignation. I love talking about finance and saving money, 401ks. Yada Savings Bank is my favorite. I won a whopping $1.10 yesterday, but that's still better than the 1 cent that I was getting every month from Wells Fargo. So, Yada Savings Bank. What did I want to say? I hope everybody had a great Monday. I also want to start talking to you guys about resume building tips and interviewing tips. I do have some videos that have already been filmed that are in the process of getting edited, talking about that. You guys can ask questions about rent relief. Real quick, because I know that Debbie normally asks me, hopefully she got through to the EDD when she was trying to call. There are new phone prompts when you call the California EDD. Oh, here's Debbie now. So there are new phone prompts, but like not any tips or tricks that I have. But when you call the EDD on your own, and I'm still calling the 833-978-2511 number, it now asks you for your social security number before you even get to the point where you're allowed to hold. And so there's that. And of course, when I tried to call on my own, I was unable to get through. I had been really curious. I'm sorry, Debbie, you didn't get through. Yeah, I had the same experience. And that's why I know it's really tricky because a lot of times, even if you use Claimer, as you pointed out, like it doesn't guarantee that you get a rep that will fix your claim, but it does at least guarantee that you get to the point where you can hold. KAFLA TV says, call your local state assemblyman. Best chance of getting paid. Trust me. Yeah, and Debbie knows that, but she has already been in touch with them. But yes, to anybody that's popping on and watching this, or the video is just coming up because you were searching EDD phone tips and tricks or about their new phone line and prompts, yes, reaching your assembly member is better. And I always have that linked in the video descriptions. Thank you for the donation, KAFLA TV. That is definitely not necessary. I certainly understand that a lot of people who just lost their unemployment benefits and don't necessarily have extra money to donate. So, and on Monday nights, even Sundays now are getting calmer, and I can pretty much answer everybody's question. Speaking of which, I don't know if he'll catch this. So, Debbie, I'm sorry that you didn't get through. We'll go ahead and do this for anybody who's watching later or hasn't heard this advice before. Mondays are always tricky, right? That's always kind of been the case. But so I normally recommend trying Tuesday through Saturday, 8 a.m. to 8:15 a.m., or later in the afternoon from 2:30 to about 4. You don't really want to call after 4 because a lot of times, especially if people are still needing to call the EDD now that the unemployment extensions have ended, it probably means, oh, KAFLA, you work for an assemblyman. They have been so amazing. Let me come back to that in a second. Anyway, if you call after 4 to the EDD, they're too busy to get you through to hold to a tier 2 representative. A lot of the reps are rude. The assembly members, though, honestly, I have been calling them saints and superheroes throughout all of this. I don't even think this is normally in their job description. I mean, their job is to help like their constituents, the people in their area. But yes, KAFLA, I would love to interview you and find out like what the increase in people that you helped was and how many people ended up having to reach out to your office or your assembly member's office to get help. The best way to contact me, where you can privately give me your email, is going to be my Instagram, which is Shelly's_millions. And I would love to hear from you. So send me a message on Shelly's_millions. That's got a glare on it. That's me. That's my Instagram. You guys are all welcome to follow me on my Instagram. I am still pretty busy being back at work and still trying to do YouTube. So I'm not always able to answer on Instagram. The best way to get a hold of me is by dropping into one of my lives. The EDD lines are still blocked because there was such a backlog of calls and people that still have questions. It is crazy. I did kind of think it's literally thousands. Sorry, I'm back and forth between like answering questions and kind of reading the comments. But they were so backed up, and there's so many people. Even if you look at the success of my channel and the success of Jenny Silver's channel, right? I feel like you guys kind of know what's up a little bit more than other people. But there were 2 million people in the state of California that just lost their unemployment benefits. And even Jenny Silver's like most popular video, and her channel is like way more popular than mine, right? Because she works harder. She is amazing. Like her highest view video has like 100,000 views. So that's one person in 20 gets the information that they need by watching YouTube. I think a lot of people don't think about going to YouTube to get government information. That's kind of a new thing that kind of cropped up, I think, during this pandemic. You had Meet Kevin talking about the stimulus all the time and clear value tax. You had Jenny Silver and Shelly's Millions talking about California unemployment. And then later, even a few more channels cropped up. Well, KAFLA, please tell your assemblyman thank you on behalf of like literally everyone in California. There was even an assemblywoman. Oh, that's cool. There's a Korean. Oh, you have a Korean language EDD channel. Well, check out his channel if you need help in Korean with your California EDD claims. That is awesome. I wish I understood Korean so that I could check it out. Maybe I'll check it out so that to give you like a little algorithm boost anyway. Um, yeah, a lot of Californians just came together to try and help people, but the assembly members were so amazing in helping people. Lorena Gonzalez, right? She's the shining star. KAFLA. I don't know who you work for, but Lorena Gonzalez is the assemblywoman for the San Diego area. And if I'm saying we, Jenny Silver and I, when we were going live, um, if people would tell us that their assembly member wasn't responding, we would refer them over to her office because her office helped people not just in her area, but like anybody who needed help. And it was so amazing. Okay, let me answer a couple of the other questions. I like the one-on-one time, KAFLA TV and Debbie, but I don't want to miss anybody else. But yeah, so there's just so many people that still have questions, and the YouTube channels are there for them to help them find the information. EDD even has their own YouTube channel. But I just think that most people don't think of going to YouTube for that kind of information. I really think that that's something that kind of happened throughout the pandemic. That was kind of interesting. Anyway, okay, so Abel. Oh no, I missed Kelly's. Let me go back up to Kelly's. Kelly says, have they started? Oh, and I got to change my chat to all chat, not top chat. So Kelly, I got you next, but now I've got it so that it will show me all the chat, not just top chat. Have they started mailing out the new stimulus yet that I heard about? I wasn't sure if it was true or not. So California has the Golden State Stimulus 2, and they have started mailing that out. And if you already got the first one, or if you've already got the second one, they haven't started. They have started sending that out, and they actually expect that to be complete by October 31st. In terms of a brand new stimulus check, right? You're going to see in the new headlines, news headlines, is there a fourth stimulus check coming? And a lot of the other channels will be like stimulus update. The new stimulus package that the federal government is looking at passing is not truly a stimulus package. It is an infrastructure package. And how it will stimulate the economy is by creating jobs. So that's the main goal from that stimulus package. That's my understanding. And those, are you getting a fourth stimulus check, are really just a lot of clickbait. If you read like the little tiny print, then it says, no fourth stimulus check is coming unless the state takes it upon themselves to send one out. And California has done that in the form of the Golden State stimulus. And some other states are going to be sending out their checks to the people in their state as well. But in terms of like another national stimulus check, no, that's not going to be happening for everyone. Okay, KAFLA. I will be looking for that message and I'll get in touch with you later. I might kind of check out from work mode after I pop off this live, so I might not be able to contact you till tomorrow, but I will contact you. Abel Cool says, greetings. Do I know how to find out where my California rent relief application stands? Thank you. So they should have sent you or put in contact for you with, I feel like I didn't say that right, with a caseworker. If they haven't, maybe KAFLA knows this. Oh, I hope you're still in here. You are. KAFLA, if we email our assembly members and say, hey, we applied for rent relief and we haven't heard back from them, is that something that our assembly members can help us with? I've been telling people that they can try that just because of how helpful everybody was with getting our unemployment benefits paid. Can they help us if we haven't heard about our rent relief applications? That's the question. So KAFLA is an assistant, or he works with one of California's assemblymen, and we're going to get in touch with each other off after I'm done going live. But yeah, maybe you would know. I think it wouldn't hurt to try, right? And I kind of think what happened with the assembly members getting involved with the EDD, and I could be totally mistaken about this, but what I think is enough people started calling them and they saw a need to help with it, and then they started helping with it, because that part is kind of their job, to help the people living in their communities with whatever they need. So maybe if a lot of people start emailing the assembly members about finding out the status of their rent relief applications, maybe that's where they'll be able to help with next. And maybe yes. Oh, okay. And ERAP managers. I do not know what that stands for. I will Google that. But yeah, it doesn't hurt to email your assembly member. But also, when you file for rent relief or rental assistance in California, they should assign you a caseworker through the Housing is Key program, or your other local programs for rent relief or rental assistance. They should assign you a caseworker, and then got it. And then that caseworker should be able to tell you the status of your application and where it is in the process. And KFLA, thank you for clarifying that for me. It stands for the Emergency Renters Assistance Program. Emergency Renters Assistance Program. The ERAP for Housing is Key. And I know sometimes the names of the programs in the individual cities can vary a little bit, but housingiskey.com is where you want to start if you're looking for rent relief and rental assistance. I am in Los Angeles, and my mom is not too far from Boyle Heights. Well, actually, I guess I'm not too far from Boyle Heights either. Okay, so yeah, so Abel, cool. I hope that answered your question. And then Fly Guy says, are they doing anything about potentially extending? That would be in regards to unemployment. And unfortunately, they're not. That's something that I wanted to talk about during this live stream as well, which is the numbers that the federal government, right? Maybe not our assembly members, maybe California's assembly members know, but like on the national level, when they're on Capitol Hill at the White House, because California's numbers are not as good as some of the other states for our unemployment rate. But even our rate, actually, our rate stayed the same for the last 2 months. Our true unemployment rate stayed the same at 7.5%, which is pretty high. But they look at the IUR in terms of being eligible for extended benefits. And I haven't checked that on the Department of Labor, but that's going to be a lot lower. On Capitol Hill, what they're looking at is they're going to be looking at the unemployment rate, the national unemployment rate, which is finally under 4% or 5%. It's under 5%. And so that looks good to them. And then they look at the spending report, and the spending report looks good for the third quarter. But that's probably largely due to inflation. Or maybe we don't have the third quarter. Whatever numbers were that came out the last time, those are the ones that they looked at and they were like, oh yeah, people are spending more. Well, yeah, because things cost more because of inflation. But Yeah, and because those numbers appear good on paper, they're not really looking at extending unemployment benefits. Oh, Jenny said no more scheduled lives until further notice. She will only do lives by pre-announcement only. That's interesting. You know, I was actually thinking about cutting back as well. I haven't decided yet. The thing is, and I was just talking to my mom about this, and this kind of has to do with like the great resignation, right? My job is much different now that I've gone back and I love it, but I'm wondering what would happen if I focused full time on YouTube. But YouTube, and it's not all about the money, right? I've enjoyed helping everybody. But if I were to really seriously consider leaving my job to do this full time, then I would need to look at it only from a money standpoint, really, if this was my only source of income. And YouTube pays more for videos versus lives. But the lives are easier for me. I have trouble, like, I was able to leave work. I left work slightly after 8 PM. I came home, drove home, poured myself some more apple cider, and then hopped on the live. So the lives are really easy. I can just wear whatever I'm wearing after work and come on. Like, I don't put on I don't know. Lives are easier. They don't take a lot of editing. You guys just ask your questions and then I answer them. So Maya's asking, will there be a fourth stimulus? And yes and no. It's up to the states to send those out, and California has sent us a fourth stimulus in the form of the Golden State stimulus. So Vanessa is saying there are rumors about a second $2,000 federal stimulus check, but it's totally false news. The media likes to do this and it's very aggravating. There's no stimulus check coming. Yes, I agree with that. There's not another stimulus check coming. What I have seen in the news regarding a $2,000 stimulus check is not actually a stimulus check at all. There's a petition that nationally more than 3 million people have signed that want universal basic income, UBI, and they want $2,000 checks for everyone for all eternity to essentially make it like more of a level playing field for everybody so that we don't have these like great divides between the upper and lower class. They want to try and even the playing field by giving everybody a universal basic income. And there are more than 3 million signatures from Americans that are supporting that, but there's not support from it in the government, which is what would need to happen in order for it to pass. Sugar Sprinkles, hello. Thank you for joining. Joel says, sorry to burst everyone's bubble, but this package doesn't include any money to us at all. It's only meant to create more jobs, but no more money. Exactly. Exactly. That is my understanding as well. Other channels are referring to it as they're talking about the stimulus bill, the stimulus proposal. It's still the infrastructure package. And now that infrastructure package is not even going to have, originally it was supposed to be 3.5 trillion. Now it's being negotiated downward. So the goal of the infrastructure package that a lot of people are referring to as the stimulus bill is because more jobs are supposed to stimulate the economy. Okay. Debbie Hall said, you think YouTube took the stress out of EDD phone lines and now the stress is back on them? No, I just think that so if Jenny Silver's video, her most popular video gets like 100,000 views, that's still 1,900,000 people that never saw her video. Now, hopefully you guys all tell your friends, you guys like that listen to Jenny and I, you go and tell them about it. But I think there's like a whole bunch of Californians who just don't look on YouTube at all, and they don't have any of the information that Jenny and I have been getting out to you. So I think that the phone lines at the unemployment office at the EDD are just as crowded as they were before. And I think that the number of tier 2 reps that can actually help with claims, that number is the same, which also probably doesn't help matters. I lost my place, you guys. That means like the video. Oh, wait, no, I'm caught back up again. Okay, Linda says the age of stimulus checks was a once in a lifetime thing, unless for some reason there's another global catastrophe in our lifetimes. Yeah, and that's something that I've kind of said before as well. I said it in some of my videos. I know a lot of my viewers are really struggling. They really needed unemployment benefits to be extended. People still need unemployment benefits to be extended. There are tons of working parents who don't feel right about accepting a job, having a child in school that could get sent home for 10 days to quarantine. And then the parent is not able maybe to fulfill their work obligations. Like, even if their employer will work with them, there's a lot of people with really strong work ethic, and just kind of knowing that that could happen, they don't want to accept a position and then have to ask for 10 days off right after they start. So it's really, really tricky. And there are people that needed unemployment benefits to be extended, um, and stimulus checks to go out. But that was something that I said, I didn't want unemployment benefits to end for people that need them. But I think, and I've said this before, that for the government to truly look at extending unemployment benefits, that it would mean that things needed to have gotten worse with the pandemic. And I don't wish that things would get worse than the pandemic. And that's also, though, why it's not an easy position for the government to be in, right? They were tasked with deciding, are we going to force businesses to close to try and keep people safe? But then the businesses suffered, and it was like a vicious cycle. And I think we're not, it's still not completely gone. So that makes it tricky. And I don't envy them, and I don't think that there was an easy solution to any of this. But the numbers that they look at, I think they could get a more accurate picture, or maybe use different numbers than they're looking at, because I don't think that the unemployment rate that they're looking at nationally really, really reflects the true picture. It does not count people who aren't looking for work because they know that childcare is going to be an issue. It doesn't count all the people that were kind of forced to retire early because they weren't able to return to their old positions. And I've had a lot of my viewers tell me, no one wants to hire me because they think I'm too old. But then we've got bad grandpa who went back to driving trucks. So, that's not always gonna be the case, but certainly a lot of people just decided to go ahead and retire now when really they wanted to keep working. They wanted to maybe save for retirement or wait till full retirement age to collect Social Security, and they just decided to go ahead and stop looking. Those numbers are not reflected in the national unemployment rate when someone's not actively looking. Ben says, fourth stimulus checks, LOL. When pigs fly, it's all rumor and false, but it's okay. I saved enough to get by for now. Ben, I'm so glad. And Ben, how's your new job? How's the feet and the back? I had to wear like a back brace thing to work today, but that's actually because we were busy, and we've actually started hiring. We've brought everybody back that wants to come back, and we have started hiring a few people as well. Okay, and Prince Ali says, I almost lost my car to repossession, but refinancing, like you said, saved me. Did that work? Were you able to refinance it? If that saved you, if that is true, that's the reason why up until now, like, I have been doing YouTube. And I actually wanted to talk about the car refinancing because someone asked me about that yesterday at the beginning, and they gave me a specific credit score, and I didn't quite know the answer, but I researched it. You guys, I know that this is probably weird. Like, I love, this is weird to say, and it's gonna sound wrong, but you guys who know me, you know that I don't mean it like this. I love money. It fascinates me, right? Maybe it's because I grew up without it, but, like, as soon as I was done with the live, I was like, does credit score? Do you have to have a credit score of higher than 700 in order to refinance a car? And what I saw, it is better if you can get your credit score above 700 before you try and refinance. But I still recommend, um, you if your credit score is not at 700, you have to be careful about hard pulls, hard credit inquiries versus a soft inquiry. A lot of times you can call a bank or credit union. I recommend credit unions for refinancing your cars. Try First Entertainment Credit Union or Navy Federal Credit Union. I know with at least First Entertainment, you don't have to be a member of the entertainment industry to be a member of the credit union. And just ask them. Like, don't have them look into your individual credit um, situation, that would be a hard pull possibly, or ask them, is this going to be a hard pull? Is this going to make my credit score drop even more? And then, so you're going to say, my credit score is 640. My interest rate is 8%. Do you think it would be worth trying to refinance through you? Can you get me a lower interest rate? And most of the time, even though they're maybe going to want specifics, they can give you a general idea of, yes, we're going to be able to offer you a lower interest rate, or no, we're not. And you should be able to ask that, and they should be able to give you a general idea before they do a hard credit pull. Now, so I'm always going to recommend a credit union to refinance your car. And I refinanced my car 3 times, and I only started out with a rate of like above 2%. The second time I refinanced, it was because they brought it down, I want to say, to like 1.99, but Toyota of Claremont offered me like $1,000 to refinance it. And I was like, heck yeah, because that's a lower interest rate and $1,000. And I had it with them at 1.99 for just a little while when all my coworkers started talking about First Entertainment Credit Union, and they had a 1.69 rate. Now, 1.69% through a credit union, and this was several years ago, that's the best interest rate you can get on an auto loan, right? You're not going to get much lower than that. But so your credit score might play into that. But they can potentially lower it from whatever, like save whatever you can. Refinancing it shouldn't mess with your credit. And what I read in the article, I did read that kind of 8 to 10% is an average interest rate with a 640 credit score. I hope the person that asked me this is watching this, because this is super detailed, and I promise to get to your questions in a second. 8 to 10% on a used car is an average interest rate, but it does not hurt to shop around and ask credit unions. I also read that if your credit score has improved, so let's say your credit score was a 580 when you first financed your car, then if your credit score has now increased recently to 640, that then it increases the likelihood that they're going to be able to help you refinance your car at a lower interest rate. And Prince Ali, I am so happy that you were able to refinance your car and that they didn't repossess it. And honestly, if you can get your credit score up even more, check again in 6 months and see if they'll refinance it again. Why not? Um, the only time I would advise against that is if you're, like, about to buy, like, a new house or something like that, but, like, let's be real, guys, like, even though I named the channel Shelly's Millions and I wanna talk about finance, housing prices in California are, like, insane right now, so we are probably, I'm gonna guess, not looking at buying property right now, right? If you are looking at buying property, that's great, and let me know. Let me know where you're looking for deals. Um, but yeah, I don't think any of us are looking for property right now. But if you are considering buying a new house, and that might include if you're gonna sell a house that you live in now and look for a new house, that's when you don't wanna, like, open new credit cards or refinance things because you want the best possible rate on your home loan. So you don't wanna have, like, a lot of things that you recently opened that are, like, sitting there on your credit score. All right, Catherine, if you get an eviction notice, can the ERAP put your app in front of others and pay within 3 days or so? All right, Catherine. I see that KFLA responds, but yeah, he's saying they will escalate your case. And that's what I've heard as well. I've heard basically the kind of more you need the help, the higher they're going to prioritize your application. I don't know about in 3 days, and your landlord probably isn't going to like this, but oh well. Um, as long as you have started the process with housing is key, even if your landlord tries to evict you, I have heard that from Russ, I'm going to say his name wrong, from the person that runs the housing is key program, or one of them, he told me on the phone that even if your landlord goes through all the eviction process paperwork, as long as you've already applied for housing is key rental assistance, that the judge will not hear your case until you've gotten the money from housing is key. So hopefully by the time you get the money from housing is key, then you'll get caught up and they won't be pursuing the eviction. And I'm so sorry. I hope you do hear soon. Yeah, and they should escalate your case. I'm so sorry about that. Prince Ali says, why didn't they keep Fed Ed? We're still at 7.5% unemployment. Anyhow, talk about a load of, well, you know. So the 7.5% is the TUR, the true unemployment rate, and that would include people on extensions. That includes a greater number of people. Let's just call it that. Versus the IUR, which stands for the insured unemployment rate. And the insured unemployment rate is much lower. It's below the 6% threshold that we would have needed in order for California to still have the Fed Ed unemployment extension available to us. The IUR is not high enough. The IUR only counts people on traditional unemployment claims, not any of the extensions, not Fed Ed, not any of that, and that number is not higher. Okay. Catherine, I hope everything works out for you. I really do. And just know that I'm here cheering for you. And if you want to come and type in capital letters SCREAM, scream, did I spell that right? If you want to scream in the chat, you go right ahead. If you want to cry, like you let me know. I'm here for you. I'm sorry. And I hope that you get your money soon for rent relief. Okay. Yes, they can't evict you. I'm so happy to see KAFLA TV saying the same things that I'm saying. So they can't evict you while you're waiting for it to get approved. So, or at least the judge won't hear your case. I actually would trust KAFLA TV's information though over mine because he works with an assemblyman. So that is amazing. So yeah, he's got good information that I trust. So thank you so much for sharing that in the chat. Ben, it says you can keep live streaming but talk about finances. This is what I look forward to with your channel. Yeah, and I got to start making videos about that. I really do. I want to share my net worth. I wanted to have a net worth of $1 million by the end of this year, and I'm getting close, but I would need about another $30,000. And I mean, it really depends on the stock market. The stock market could crash and I'd be nowhere near my goal, or the stock market could shoot up and I would hit my goal like really quickly. But I am gonna start sharing that stuff about you just kind of as inspiration, and so that you know, like, that I'm telling the truth when I share this information with you guys. And just to encourage everybody to actually get started on investing. 401k, if your company matches, is going to be the best way to get that started. That's what I did. I still believe that even though it's hard, that the American dream is possible. Work a job, work your way up, buy a house. If you want that, you can make it happen no matter where you're at now. That's what I wanted. That's what I made happen. And I'm going to go from there. Oh, Catherine, you got this. Catherine, you got this. All right. Go ahead and start filling that out. Okay. Try and fill that out tonight. If you can, or just fill out a sentence, fill out the first paragraph. Maybe try and do that every hour, right? Just fill out the next section and the next section and then the next section until it's done, and try and get that sent out. All right. Oh, Catherine. Yeah, try and get it out as soon as possible. All right. Oh, I worry. And I really like I've come to know so many of you and your personal struggles. And when you have these layers of stress, right? It makes it more challenging. But I believe in you to get through this. All right. I'm gonna be your cheerleader. I know you got this. And if you don't got this, that's okay, but try and get it tomorrow because that is time sensitive. Okay. All right. Yes. And KAFLA is encouraging Catherine to apply. Yeah, you can apply for future rent. So guys, if you need rent relief or rental assistance and you're not behind yet, they can potentially approve up to 3 months of future rent. And that's what everybody's saying. Anna says I lost my place. Here I go. Anna says applied for ERAP online in September for future rent. 3 weeks later, they reached out to my landlord. Now my app has been approved and pending payment. It all happened so fast. Everyone should try and apply. That is great advice, and I'm going to share that with my friend. I did a little survey on how long it's taking to get the rent relief. It's taking various times for various people. The best way is if your landlord is able to cooperate and fill out the paperwork as well. And KAFLA says that's what happens when you submit a complete application, including rental agreement, rent ledger, picture ID, all contact info for the landlord. Good job, Anna. Yes, everybody's views are down since 9/11. And that's fine. I got really overwhelmed. I really my mom is even like, my mom also, I tried to have a heart to heart. I was like, Mom, I'm not sure about work anymore. Should I just do YouTube full time? My mom has always told me, and this is probably wise advice, she's not usually wrong. She's always told me, don't quit your job until you have another one lined up. And I do love my job, but I just wonder, like, I never thought I was capable of doing YouTube, of learning how to use the webcam, of learning how to go live. And now I'm like, could I be doing more? So it's not necessarily that I don't like my job, or anything like that. I'm just wondering if there's more. I'm also wondering if I could make YouTube work. Like, I don't know. And yeah, views are down for everyone after unemployment benefits mostly ended. So that makes me a little nervous. Ooh, 8K to 1K real quick. Yeah. Yeah, the views are down. That's okay. Vanessa says, do I know if it would be an easy job? It's a little messed up, but if you work for the ED, just answer the phone since they can't help you, then hang up. The EDD, KAFLA. I don't know if you have any pull to tell your assembly member to get the EDD to do this. They need to add one of those customer service satisfaction surveys to the end of your call. Adding it to the end of the call, and don't ask people if they want to participate or not. Just make them or give them the option to. So the EDD would know two things, right? If they had enough people that cared to like look it over. If you never got to the survey, it would know that, and maybe you have to give people the option of opting into the survey or opting out. So whatever, fine, you opt into the survey. But if we as Californians opted into a customer service satisfaction survey at the end of our EDD call, then, and if we said that we would take it and then we never made it to the end of it, they would know if the representative hung up on us. And then they could at least follow up with that person and like, I don't know. I don't like to say like give them warning notices, but like, yeah, follow up with them and maybe give them a warning notice if they hung up on us. Also, was the rep friendly? Press 1 for yes, 2 for no. If somebody got too many no's, give them a warning notice. Was the rep was like what you called about fixed today? Press 1 for yes, 2 for no. And if somebody gets too many unfriendlies or too many that my claim wasn't fixed, then they get too many warning notices, maybe then that person needs to be applying for unemployment. I don't know. Okay, I got to take a drink of my apple cider in my coffee cup. And then if you guys like the video, I would appreciate it. So Catherine is asking, if they have managers or shortcuts for people with mental health issues that can help. I'm assuming not, but you never know. I plan to apply. OCD makes it hard. And I don't know that, but Catherine, I'm not sure if you were in here. So KAFLA TV works for an assemblyman. That's why he's so knowledgeable. And I'm so glad that he's in here to share that information with us tonight. That's super awesome. But he has said that emailing your assembly member could also help. And Catherine, they have, and hopefully you get a good rep if you call, but there is a number that you can call to apply for the rent relief as well. After you go to Housing is Key. And I would hope that they would be kind and help walk you through the process over the phone. I do want to caution you, they're going to ask you something to the effect of, are you at risk of experiencing homelessness, right? Because a lot of people have told me, oh, you have to be homeless or you have to be practically homeless in order to qualify. Now, they're going to ask you that. answer truthfully. But what I would tell them is, while I was on unemployment, I was able to keep up with my rent. But now that the unemployment benefits have ended, I need rent relief or rental assistance, or else I am at risk of experiencing homelessness. And if they ask for proof, if you have something like a late utility bill or something like that, a late utility bill would count as proof. Um, okay, Bo says, my assembly person stopped helping me in California. Got to reach out to Lorena Gonzalez from San Diego. Oh, KAFLA, that's so sweet. She's in Berkeley. She's behind on EDD certifications due to the OCD. It takes me forever. Catherine, I hope you get caught up. And I'm sorry that you're struggling right now. And I'm sorry if I don't know the right thing to say, but just know that like my heart's in the right place, right? Even if I've said something that's not helpful, my heart's really in the right place. And I want to say, and maybe I can't help. Maybe that's the thing. People think they can help and they can't, but just know that I believe in you and I want you to succeed, and that you're worthy of having that success and getting the help that you need. All right, Isabel says still waiting for the phone interview. The EDD is behind about 18 to 20 weeks on phone interviews. So the fastest thing to do is going to be emailing your assembly member for help. Or there are new phone prompts. If you absolutely have to call the EDD, do it Tuesday through Saturday, 8 a.m. to about 8:15 a.m. Then later in the afternoon from maybe 2:30 to 4 o'clock. And then after that, after 4 o'clock, don't bother because you're probably going to need to get help from a tier 2 rep. And after 4, there's going to be so many people already holding to talk to a tier 2 rep that you might not get through. And then, of course, I do have the claimer discount link. If you haven't used them before, they will at least get you through to where you can hold. Annabelle says, can I still qualify for housing is key if I rent a converted garage from a family member? I've been on unemployment since June of 2020. So KAFLA is saying you can as long as your landlord can vouch for your being a renter. You qualify, it helps to have a rental agreement though. And KAFLA, I just want to caution, there's a lot of properties in Los Angeles that have converted garages. Some of them are illegal and some of them are legal ADUs. But can it complicate things? I just want to caution you that if your family member is not reporting that as income, I just don't want it to create complications. So you might be able to call your assembly member and ask, they might know. But I would be at least a little cautious about that. Ben says, my feet don't hurt anymore, thankfully. I use these Dr. Scholl's. It has been a savior on my feet. My feet loves me now. Well, that is good. I call them old lady shoes. I should try and show you my old lady shoes. Let's have a fun moment. I'm going to show you my old lady shoes. I'm still wearing them. Can I even lift my old lady leg? Look, they're like super, but they have like a little patent leather piece on them. That's not cute. Anyway, did you guys see the sole on there? The anti-slip. They're like Clarks. They're totally Clarks. I have to wear like Clarks now. I used to wear like cute little flats or little pumps. Now it's Clarks, and I can't even wear the same pair of Clarks 2 days in a row before like my back starts to hurt. So, but Clarks are very good, but I don't even wear the same pair of those every day. I think, what do I have, like aerosols? Is that what they're called? Hi, Scotty. Oh, you're back from Utah. I've never been to Utah. It looks really beautiful. Okay. I'm going to skip around a little bit. I want to try and get to more people. Linda says that her nephew saved $4K from all the stimulus and used it to pay the remaining balance of $3.8K on his car. He said, I'll pay it now so I can own the thing. And I'm very much a fan of investing money, but also you have to look at what's right for you in your financial situation right now and what gives you peace of mind, especially if you don't have a steady income right now. That is something that I really struggled with when I first became furloughed. I talked last night about how I had Bitcoin and I sold it in 2014. I wanted to buy Tesla when I first got furloughed, but I didn't because I was like, oh my God, how am I going to pay my rent? How am I going to pay this? And even now, right? Some people, there are some lines of thinking that would say that I should cash out, refinance my house so that I can take the money and invest it. And with interest rates so low and the average return on investments is usually about 8%, if you do like an index fund or something like that. So the math makes sense to take out money from the house, but you don't get peace of mind with that. As a matter of fact, the stock market could crash and then that really like messes with your peace of mind, especially if you refinance your house. But that is something that I'm considering. But the peace of mind is often worth it. Okay. Debbie says, so what did I wind up doing with mom yesterday? Okay, I was so tired from work, guys, that I took a nap when I got there. I was like, Mom, I'm going to sleep in your bed. So I took a little nap when I got there. And then we just kind of ate food. And I talked to her about like whether I should be part of the Great Resignation and really try and focus on YouTube full time or just kind of that. So we just talked and we had dinner. We did not have Chinese food. She said she was hungry for onion rings, so we tried a new place that we had never been. We had a good night though. Um, KAFLA says I'm right about the judge throwing out the case, but AB 832 laws are so new that not only judges know the details. Maybe you would know this too, KAFLA. I'm trying to find out for a viewer, is there any supplemental COVID sick pay available anymore? There used to be the Families First Act. I know there's some other words in there that I'm missing, but the Families First Act gave people up to 80 hours of additional COVID sick pay, but that expired September 30th. That was the national program. Then I'm in Los Angeles County, and the Los Angeles County program says that it is eligible when we're in like an emergency state of COVID. It's very hard. I've not been able to Google if we're still in the emergency state or not. But then I found out that exactly where I am and where the person that was asking me is, they're in the city of Los Angeles. And so it defaults to the city of Los Angeles, but then there's no sick pay available for them that way or additional sick pay available for that. Because their company doesn't have more than 500 employees in the city of Los Angeles. And then what's this thing I found yesterday? What is this called? I was trying to find out. I tried to see if Daniela Urban knew, but I got like a generic response from her office. Unfortunately, where is this thing? What is that? Okay, exclusion pay. California seems to have something called exclusion pay. So, exclusion pay is if you got exposed to the virus at work and your employer asks you to stay home. There's something called exclusion pay, but I can't seem to figure out when that's over. Like, is that still available? Is there any additional sick pay that someone could use if they were asked by their employer to quarantine? And that would be, I guess, state of California is the exclusion pay. That wouldn't matter the county or the city or any of that. And yeah, it's so confusing and all the laws are coming out. It gets really tricky. Um, what is Catherine? Shoot. Hi, Jenny. Listening. Oh, long drive from a wedding. When's my next video coming out? I don't know. I'm working on one with Jason Bay Real Estate Investing. I just need to edit it, but I'm trying to edit on a real program for once instead of the app that I use on my phone. So it's taking me longer. And yet again today, I worked another 10-hour day. I don't even know. It was a long time. I worked from the time, I don't think it was 10, maybe it was 9 hours today, but it was a long time. Okay. And yes, Catherine, I root for you that you push through the through the application process of getting that rent relief through housing is key. I know you can do it. Okay. Joel says, my parents fully own their home in San Jose. So I guess they're millionaires as the homes up there are sky high in cost. Yes, and that is so important to understand. Their net worth probably is over $1 million just based on what a house cost in San Jose. For anybody that doesn't know, San Jose is like right near Silicon Valley. A lot of people are living in San Jose because they can't afford Santa Cruz or San Francisco. So the next closest one's kind of San Jose, that's where people are going and buying up the property there. So and that's where most of my net worth comes from as well, right? I got very lucky buying a house for a price I could afford. But if we looked at my bank account, I'm nowhere near a millionaire, right? I think I've got like $100 in there right now. And I've got a credit card bill due, but that's okay. I get paid for my regular job on Friday. But yeah, a lot of net worth is housing value, which doesn't really matter unless you're ready to sell your house, which I am not. But yes, Joel, if your parents wanted to sell their house, they would be sitting on a pretty sum of money, I am sure. Catherine, everyone's rooting for you. Um, Scotty, no, I'm back to my apple cider, but this time it's a different kind. Last time I had one, this one's kind of cloudy. It's the Honey Crisp apple cider from Trader Joe's again. It's not their regular one. I don't know. So it's like it looks cloudy. Um, KAFLA says housing is key. Says a complete app takes an average of 3 weeks, but we all know that's BS. LOL. Yes. Alvin says I didn't find my taxes this year. Guess I won't get this golden stimulus. Yeah, that's true. You did need to have filed your taxes in order to qualify. SoCal77, don't give up. Email your assembly member. They can often help sort out even messy unemployment claims. Annabelle says, oh yeah, we did that one. Oh, you sublet from a family member who leases from a family member who owns the house. I think that is fair game. What would crash the phone lines? Oh, adding a survey to the end of the EDD. Jenny, I know you've got some contacts at the EDD. I think that they should add a customer service satisfaction question to the end of that. Would it crash the phone lines though, or would it just make the people that they've hired actually answer them and complete the call? I don't know. That's what I think would happen. And thank you, Jenny, for listening. I sometimes listen to you on the way to work too. Okay. Oh yeah, it is Monday wedding. Oh, it was rainy here in Southern California too. And I think it's like crazy raining up in Northern California. So was it indoor? How does that go? Lunar Magic Legend says my PEUC extension ended and I was automatically put on DNPC. Did I do something wrong? No, that sounds like good news. That sounds like everything happened like it was supposed to. So DNCP would be a deferred new claim payment. And if you were automatically rolled onto that, that is what was supposed to have happened, but it didn't for a lot of people. You did something right. You must have had that lunar magic working for you, and the EDD, got things right on your claim. So that's amazing. Yes, KFLA. We're talking a lot about the Housing is Key program, which is good because I definitely want to encourage. There's so many people that still don't understand you can qualify for future rent, even if you're not late yet, for up to 3 months in advance at a time. So please, everyone, if there's a chance that you're not going to be employed within the next 3 months and you're not quite sure where the money is going to come from, just apply because they have some funds and it doesn't hurt to apply. Okay. And yeah, you can get help with that on the phone as well. EDD knows it's a disaster. It doesn't need a survey. That's probably true, but do they know like exactly how rude some of those reps are? I think that there's like an element of disbelief. They're like, no, people aren't just hanging up. And you guys have told me, I got hung up on when I called. She was like, no more questions for you if it's not about your claim. And then she hung up on me. And I was real mad. That was the day my phone almost overheated. And that's when I decided I was going to start like recommending Claimer. Alvin says, my mother's job filed her unemployment for her back in July, but she only got paid the extra 600 once and 300 twice. That seems really weird. And whenever it's complicated, I know a lot of times it's really hard to explain to me on these chats. That's when I recommend emailing your assembly member because they can oftentimes sort out things that are pretty messy. And guys, tonight I'm only about 10 minutes behind in the comments. And if you haven't already, if you would like the video, I would appreciate it. Myri says, what else can I send for my unemployment for income verification? So usually they want W-2s, bank statements. Let's say you got paid in cash. Like let's say you were a housekeeper. You would need to go to the person whose house you clean and say, hey, I know you paid me in cash, but is there any way that you can give me a letter saying that you paid me in cash? That would be for self-employed though. So really, really what they're looking for is W-2 wages. So that's really what they're gonna want you to send, unless you are doing income verification on a PUA claim. And then like a letter from someone that you worked for could potentially work. And again, PUA claims are over, but if for some reason you're needing to send income verification for them to pay out, like on old certifications, something like that, or bank statements could work. But for the most part, they're going to be looking for W-2s. And most of the time, those are linked up with the EDD's system. Anne. Oh, thank you, Anne. Okay, and KFLA says it's a good thing. It sure is. You're not collecting unemployment since it ended September 4th. Yeah, so you, in order to qualify for another claim, you would need to have done some work since filing your original claim. So they don't award two back-to-back claims if you haven't done any work. So you would have needed to work for an employer for a little while, and you would need to have met the earnings requirements. I like to focus more on the some work portion of it because I think that's for most of us when we don't qualify for another consecutive claim, a back-to-back claim, a new claim right after this claim ended, however you want to word it, it really all means the same thing. If you just finished your original claim on September 4th and you haven't done any work since you originally filed the new claim, then I don't like to send you guys kind of like researching back to look at, the earnings, because if you haven't done any work since you first filed that original claim, then you're not going to qualify for a new claim, unfortunately. Okay, Yolanda, I contacted my assembly member on October 7th of 2021. Until this day, October 25th, 2021, I haven't received any help. Pending since April 25th, 2021. What else can I do for help? So email your assembly member, or sometimes it's a form in writing on their homepage. I recommend emailing them because then you're going to have it in writing when you reached out to them, what their response was, so that if they say, oh, we never got it, you can say, yes, you did, because I sent it here. Was this the correct email address? Or you'll be like, yes, you did, because here's your response. If you already emailed them and they just have not responded back, send a follow-up email. Say, hey, I emailed you guys on October 7th. I haven't heard back. Do you know when I can expect a response from you? If they responded and it just didn't do anything, say, hey, you responded that you would look into this and I haven't heard anything back from you yet. And as a last resort, the office of Lorena Gonzalez, she is an assemblywoman in San Diego. She has helped people that aren't even in her area with their unemployment claims, all while battling breast cancer. So she's like the what is like the guy who put together the Avengers? Like whoever that is, like she's the superhero that's like equivalent of that. I wish I knew that. Guys, I love watching like Marvel movies, but I couldn't tell you like who does what. I'm a terrible I don't manage a movie theater. I'm the worst. Anyway, but our assembly members have really been like saints and superheroes for the most part. Every once in a while, you'll get one that's not helpful, but follow up. And if they still don't respond, try reaching out to the office of Lorena Gonzalez, because oftentimes they help somebody even if they don't live in her area. Okay, Marcy says a friend of mine applied for PUA before the deadline, but she screwed up on her years. She was told to backdate it. Do you think it's possible that she's going to receive anything if and when they fix it? Yeah, they should. And it is still possible as long as she applied before October 6th. She should still be able to get it all sorted out. But if she already knows that she kind of messed up on the application, go ahead and jump to the next step, which is emailing your assembly member. Let them know what happened so that they can help facilitate getting the ball rolling and getting her paid. Sela says, will we be getting unemployment? Most likely not unless you qualify for a new claim. And in order to qualify for a new claim, you would have needed to do some work since originally filing. Diamond Pikachu. I always like when I see your name pop in here because I like that name and I played Pokemon Go for way too long. Back to work, but still waiting for my Golden State stimulus too. The next batch, to my understanding, in the form of direct deposit, should go out by October 31st. And then if you're expecting a paper check, they're going to be sending those out through January 11th of 2022. So you've got a little while to wait if you're waiting on a paper check. Oops, and I just lost my place. So that means like the video. GRM says my employment. Oh, I can't read that. Some of these I can't read. The $300 was saving lives. It's not like it's lottery when people want to work, but people don't want to take a low paying job where they cannot support their families. Yeah, and that's what like a lot of the great resignation thing is about, like low paying jobs. People don't want to do that anymore. They want to try and find the best possible job. And I want you guys to do that too. I'm trying to make resume tips. And Jenny, I have a couple of collaborations I've filmed, which, by the way, thank you so much for editing our collaborations if you're still in here listening. Because editing collaborations with other people is so much harder and more challenging than editing like a video with yourself. Like when I edit, I watch my mouth move. And I can tell if I've taken a breath, or I can tell if I'm saying so, or whatever it is that I'm doing that's weird. Like I know what's coming. I can anticipate what I'm doing. But when I'm editing a video with someone else, it's more challenging. But I'm up for the challenge. But it's tricky. Okay. Okay, let me skip around. Okay. Reach out to the Economic and Workforce Development for the City of Los Angeles. I will do that for my person that's asking. Lunar Magic. I've been on unemployment for 16 months and never had any problems. Well, I think, okay, so I think there's something, you must be a really positive person. Look at your name, Lunar Magic Legend, right? And this is something that I'm working on, being a more positive person. And I think that there's got to be something about you that is sending out good vibes into the universe that is just helping you to not have problems with your unemployment thing. And guys, if you can, thinking positive, I know it's beneficial. I struggle with it sometimes myself too. But yeah, I'm glad you haven't had any trouble with your unemployment claim. So that's great. Okay, Neeks says, when I applied in March 2020, I was getting the Fed Ed, but only for 6 months. Apparently, I had an old regular claim from 2018 to 2019. So that continued. Can I still apply? Potentially, but at some point, since filing the original claim, you would have needed to have earned some wages. It sounds like they kept rolling you over onto extension, onto extension, onto extension. Um, Here's my advice, right? If it will let you try and file a new claim, the worst that can happen is that it either won't let you, it'll tell you right away, like that you don't have enough wages to qualify for a new claim, or it lets you, and then you would get a letter that with a $0 benefit amount, and then that would mean that you didn't qualify. But if it lets you file a new claim, why not try and then let the EDD tell you whether you qualify or not? Okay. Debbie says, um, Debbie says there's no supervision or consequences over there at the EDD, so those reps are free flying mostly. We've all figured this out by now, just an ugly mess. Yep. Jenny's last video says to expect EDD to offshore calls. Yeah, that wouldn't surprise me. But at least they're planning on keeping people on. And you know what? Some of those offshore people are very, very nice. I've been to India. It's one of the only countries besides Mexico that I've been to outside of the United States. They're so nice and so helpful, and they're very nice. Sometimes it might be difficult to have them understand the intricacies of your claim, but you know what? If they're just going to transfer you on hold to talk to a tier 2 rep anyway, at least maybe they won't hang up on you. Same with the Philippines. A lot of companies contract out to the Philippines. Those people are so, so nice. Again, they might not understand the intricacies of your claim, but as long as they can transfer you to a tier 2 rep without hanging up on you, then I'm going to take that as a good sign. And I don't want people here in the States to lose jobs, but if someone will be nice and do it out of the country, then I don't know. I don't know. At least they're still going to have more people answering the phones. But I would like that if we kept the jobs here in America. EDD. How are they going to write that off on their taxes? How are they going to explain not hiring here at home? But anyway, I don't mind talking to an offshore rep as long as, like I said earlier, my heart was in the right place. As long as their heart's in the right place and they want to help. And sometimes those people are so grateful to have a job, and they want to keep their employers happy. And their employers are probably keeping a more watchful eye on them than the EDD was keeping on the people that worked from home here in the US. Because when I first called the EDD, the California EDD, I got someone from Kentucky that answered the call. It was not someone that understood like how things were going here in California. So they were already contracting it out of state. So yeah, it wouldn't surprise me if they went offshore either. KAFLA said Biden signed the American Rescue Plan in March, and that's why we were paid 300 FPUC payments until 9/4. Let's give a little credit where it's due. Yes, that is true. He did. EDD would still be processing PEUX payments from last April had it not been for Newsom's strike team. That's probably true as well. It's hard. None of these decisions were easy. I want to talk about that for a minute. So a lot of people, right, Debbie, this is I don't know if you've ever heard this before. I used to talk about this a lot and I didn't before. This has been a problem with the EDD for a really long time, the not answering phones, right? During the last recession, it was found that they couldn't handle the inflow of people that needed unemployment benefits. And they asked for new computer equipment. They asked for more funding so that they could, I don't know, hire more people. I don't necessarily know if it was to hire more people, but definitely everyone knew that the computers were a problem. Everyone knew that they were old and outdated and that they needed to be updated. But think of it like this, right? We all just lost our unemployment benefits. Your check engine light comes on in your car. We have my friend who just paid, they had $4,000 saved and they just paid off their car with $3,800. Knock on wood that this does not happen. But let's say the check engine light comes on and he thinks, oh my goodness, it's going to be something major. I don't have the money to fix it. What do I do? And he keeps driving it. And the light just magically goes off because sometimes that happens. Sometimes it's just a sensor, but whatever. So the check engine light goes off and he thinks, I dodged a bullet. I didn't have to go pay a mechanic to figure out what was wrong and have to do like a major repair. But you know that that check engine light came on, but you don't have the money to fix it. So you don't. Maybe you even drive your car with the check engine light on. Maybe you know, like, oh, this came back on, but I don't have the money to fix it, so I'm just gonna have to drive it and hope for the best. And then one day the check engine light comes on and like your car overheats and your whole engine goes, right? That is what happened during the pandemic. The EDD is the first check engine light where they were like, hey, our computers are slow and they're not working how they should. And then uh, they were like, "Can we please have some money to fix this?" But, everybody needs money, right? There's a budget that the California government has to stick to. There's a budget that the federal government has to stick to. So, there's only so much money to go around for all of the programs. So, you look at, well, the unemployment rate is low right now. We'll push that off. We'll wait. We'll hope that the check engine light's off right now. So we'll just hope that it stays off and there's not really a problem. Well, when this pandemic hit, the engine caught fire and the check engine light didn't go off and that money's still needed. But will the EDD be given that money out of the budget to fix these computer problems and things like that? That when you do hear about things about unemployment reform in the new stimulus package, which is really the infrastructure package, they are talking about reforming unemployment. And that would include some budgeting, some money given to all of the unemployment offices to streamline things, to upgrade equipment, to try and make sure that if something like this were to happen again, which I hope it does not, but that if it did, they would be better prepared to handle it. So there is some funding to try and do that, and potentially make a path for people who are self-employed to be able to get benefits if they faced unemployment in the future. But in terms of like extending unemployment or something like that, they're not. Anyway, okay. I babbled about that. So anyway, that's my analogy about the check engine light, and the EDD had a check engine light on before, and they did not have the money to fix it. So their hands are tied if they're not given the money to fix the problems that they know they have. So it's just like an endless cycle. Okay. Marcy, I don't remember what we're talking about in Santa Cruz. What did you need to know how to do in Santa Cruz? Is it apply for rent relief and rental assistance? You're going to go to housingiskey.com. Oh dear. Okay, I lost my place. Catherine says, is there a way for an assembly member to contact us directly with a tier 2 or give us an appointment on our behalf? Sometimes after you reach out to your assembly member, right? This is what I tell people. You reach out to your assembly member, you're going to call or email them. Oftentimes they're going to respond to you in as little as 2 days. Sometimes they can fix your claim without ever having to talk to you again, without ever needing to connect you to somebody at the EDD. Sometimes they can get it all sorted out in as little as 4 business days. Okay. Yeah, it's May. Says, has anyone had a phone interview whose job was fighting them in it and actually won? So yeah, it's May. May. Yeah, it's May. Anyway, I like your name. Most people that fight their employer on their unemployment claims, they win. I have been on the employer side of fighting someone's claim. We coach them, but we write it down that we've coached them because otherwise there's like not record, like how does somebody know if I coach somebody and then another manager coaches them? We want to make sure someone doesn't have like 20 coaching sessions and none of the managers know about it. But anyway, so we say, hey, you were late 12 minutes today. First time, don't worry about it, whatever. That happens like 3 times. 4th time, you give them a warning notice. Then they get 3 warning notices. Then it goes to like a final warning notice, and then it's like termination after that. They fought it and they won. They were like, we didn't have our phone and we were on the bus and we couldn't make it. And we were like, what about the other 900 times you were late? And the EDD did not care about the other 900 times. They cared about that specific time why that employee was late. He's claimed he didn't have a phone. I had specifically talked to him. I was like, but you like, all right, fine, I get it. This would be weird, but like you're on a bus, so you're not going to be able to get off and run away. Like he could have asked somebody like, hey, can you call my employer for me and let them know I'm running late? Like obviously don't hand your cell phone to a stranger, although they probably can't run away if they're on the bus with you. But but like he could have asked somebody, like he was a resourceful young man, right? Like he could have figured out how to call, and I'm not 100% sure that he really didn't have his phone on him, but he could have borrowed somebody's phone on the bus to at least like let us know. So also it wasn't just like he was late and he called and let us know, like we had no idea. Like, are you coming to work or are you not? Are you here or you're not? Anyway, whatever. But it was a lot of times before we actually let him go, and the EDD still awarded him his unemployment benefits, and we had all the paperwork that was necessary and all that. So yeah, fight your employer. You will most likely win. It's something like 90. It's somewhere between like 92 and 97% of employees that fight their employer are going to win their unemployment claim. Okay. Oh, Catherine, I'm so sorry. Okay. But I believe in you. Hi, Josie. Yes. Yeah, KAFLA. If you see, the thing is, if you drop your email in the chat, I don't know how to get you guys in contact with each other. Catherine, do you have Instagram? Are you able to send me a message on Instagram and I can like put the 2 of you in touch? If you don't mind sharing your email address in the chat, but just be careful of getting spam. I mean, I don't have a problem with you and Catherine reaching out to each other. And Catherine, if you want to reach out to me on Instagram and I'll put the 2 of you in touch, that's fine. I'm Shelly's _millions on Instagram. I'll get the two of you in touch. I am going to be ending this live in a minute. Well, not like a minute, but okay. Okay, Catherine. I'm going to screenshot this and I'll send that to him. Oh, you know what? Okay. Okay. KAFLA TV. I'm going to screenshot that and then I'm going to delete her comment and then I will send that to you. Okay. So that you guys can, and Catherine, I'm going to delete that for your protection. Okay. How do I delete that? I'm going to remove that. So Catherine, I deleted that. Oh, Catherine, I should know that because you know what? You won a claimer call, I think, right? And I sent you the funds. So I should have your email somewhere. Okay, hi Joseph. How's the new Wes Anderson movie? Oh my God, we're so busy. We're so busy. All right, let's talk about that yeah, Catherine, you're welcome. So I deleted your comment, but I will get it to KAFLA TV, and he messaged me on Instagram. So I will be able to put the two of you in touch. And okay. The new Wes Anderson movie is so busy. It's so busy. We're also playing Dune, and No Time to Die is still doing busy. Unexpectedly, we had 70 people. That's a lot for like a Monday morning. Apparently it was because of the rain, but we were slammed this morning. I mean, it's a good problem to have, but whew, slammed. Okay, Debbie. This state has lots of money, so there's no reason not to fix EDD when it's been a known problem since 2013, other than a weak governor who just hasn't decreed it. It's not an easy solution though. Like, what if he had to take money from like after school programs, right? Or what if, like, you know how states will send senior citizens like in-home care assistance, like every program. What if I just want the pothole in my road fixed, right? Because it broke my tire. Like there is a lot of money in California, but there's also a lot of need for the money. So I don't think these decisions are easy. And then you have everybody saying, I need it more. No, I need it more. No, I need it more. And how do you choose out of all the programs that actually need funding, like which ones get the money and which ones don't? That is why some people told Jenny Silver this as well. I don't know if she's still listening while she's driving. They were like, you guys should run for governor. Not together. Like people tell me on my channel, people tell her on hers. Like, I wouldn't want that job. I wouldn't want to have to make those decisions. It's really tough. Catherine, you have a good night too. Maybe try and open that application. I've been reading a lot about motivation and everything. Oh, take the first step. You're already online. Type in housing.key is calm. Calm, not calm. You'll be calm when you open housingiskey.com. And maybe see the first question, maybe see if you can fill out the first question. A lot of the times it's really just taking the first step of action, right? And once you get that, maybe you'll be okay. Otherwise, I am going to send your email to KAFLA TV, who does an unemployment channel in Korean. That if you could use this information in Korean, certainly check out his channel. Okay. I'm going to do up to Joseph's question about proof of vaccination. Joseph, where did you hear the date the 8th? I'm sorry. This is important. Oh, thanks, KAFLA. Thank you so much. Thank you for helping tonight in the chat, and thank you for helping Catherine. And Catherine, you're amazing. And I hope you get the help you need applying for that program. I really want things to go better for you than they have recently. Okay, so Joseph, where did you hear the date the 8th? Because that date, okay, mayor's office today. Okay, I am going to have to get off the live. So they did delay it. So my boss told me that a few days, and so I have two bosses. I told my girl boss, she's above my guy boss. So I told my girl boss told me that it had been delayed until the 8th, and I was searching like a lunatic yesterday for that information because everything that I read said the 4th, but I couldn't find it in writing. I will email you, KAFLA TV. I couldn't find that in writing. So yeah, I guess it's the 8th. So I guess I'm gonna have to read that tweet, but I guess starting the 8th, we're gonna have to require proof of vaccination, last I heard, or a negative COVID test in order to attend the movies. And quite honestly, I am worried. Your job gave us until December 8th to be fully vaccinated. Yeah, I think that's more up to employers. And then Biden put something in motion to require companies with more than 100 employees to get vaccinated, but I haven't been able to find anything in that in the news recently. Okay. The tweet from the mayor's office. Oh, thank you so much, KAFLA. If you go live, I got to go and donate on your channel. Guys, please, like, even if you don't speak Korean, maybe go check out his channel, show his channel some love. Thank you so much for your help tonight. Thank you for the donation. That's really, really nice. Hi, Katie. Katie, I'm about to hop off tonight. I'm just doing a couple of questions and then I got to head out for the night. I've gone a little longer than I planned on doing. Okay, Joseph, I'm going to tweet that tweet to my boss from the mayor's office. And okay, so Donald, back to your question. And then, yeah, it's May. I'll do yours. And then I got to hop out tonight. Okay. So, Donald said, I phoned EDD and they processed my first week of benefits on Thursday last week. Haven't got a B of A card yet. Got your next claim form only. So did you do the week waiting period? Like, did you already certify and online has that switched to paid? You get your EDD Bank of America debit card 10 days after your certifications switch from pending to paid. And I believe that the EDD is letting people certify while they're still like verifying their identity and stuff like that. And that can be a 3-week process. So it may, so after your certifications online show a status of paid instead of pending, 10 business days from that is when you're going to get your Bank of America EDD debit card. And if you don't get it in 10 days, 10 business days, after it switched from pending to paid online, that's when you're going to call the Bank of America EDD debit card number. Okay. And Yatsme says, I still work at my job part-time. They told EDD I turned it down full-time. That's so shady. And if that's not true, either way, you win, right? Either your job has to give you full-time or like, yeah, just fight that. You will most likely win. Okay. Lunar Magic says, I have been dealing with EDD since the 1990s when everything was all done snail mail. I'm so sorry about that, but I'm glad everything's gone well with your claim this time. Okay. And okay, let's see here. Oh, you earned playing a game called Dragon Realms that you've been playing for 26 years. That is about as long as I have been working for my current employer. Okay, I'm not good about getting back to it. The best way to get in contact with me is honestly in the lives here. And I know it's hard to get your full question out this way. If this format doesn't work for you, you can message me on Instagram. I have to admit, I'm a little busy between working a little more than 8 hours at my job most days and then still trying to do YouTube. But try me on Instagram. It's Shelly's_millions. And thank you. Yes, please click the like button. Okay. Shelly's Millions is the name of my channel, and KAFLA TV. That looks like the way his name is showing up. That looks like the name of the channel. So yeah, go watch one of his videos, please. That would be amazing. And then Joseph said, will masks still be required after November 8th, as well as for vaccinated people inside the public establishments? I believe so. It's probably going to be pretty similar to how the bar, I have my finger down because I want to do Myries before I head out. It's probably going to be pretty similar to how bars are doing. I honestly don't know. I don't think they've issued the ordinance yet, or the guidance, the official ordinance or guidance for how we're supposed to do that. Like, and what am I going to look at for someone's negative COVID test? They better not be bringing me their weird swab or anything like that, or like their paper with the snot with the lines on it. Like, I don't bring that. So yeah, I don't quite know how that's going to work. It actually sounds like you have more details on it than I do. Have a good evening. And oh yeah, if you guys do check out KAFLA TV's channel, they were doing EDD unemployment in Korean, but he's been so helpful tonight. I would just love it if you guys would like watch a couple of his videos and say that you popped on over from Shelly's Millions just to give him some support and some love and give that YouTube algorithm a boost. And that's fun. You guys can also, it helps YouTubers, all YouTubers, you can run a playlist from them in the background while you're doing your dishes or like have your TV on, like run YouTube on your cell phone. You can help me with that as well. um, oh, that's awesome. So if you guys need help, KAFLA may be able to help if you ask a question over on his channel. And so Myri, I don't know how to say your name and I'm sorry if I'm butchering it, but go to housingiskey.com. Do you have a specific question about the rent relief application? I'm going to wait like 2 more minutes to see if you have a specific question about the rent relief rental application on Housing is Key. I may not know the answer to the specific questions, but I will try my best. KAFLA TV also works for an assembly member, works with an assembly member, and may actually have a better answer even than I do. And yeah, Joseph, I don't know about masks once movie theaters reopen. It's going to be interesting. And it's so weird. Do you know that in Seattle, you have to show proof of vaccination, but for privacy reasons, they're not asking for an ID to go with it. All right, while I wait to see if Myri has a specific question, I got to look at the mayor. So that would be Eric Garcetti, right? I told you guys I'm not that great with politics regularly. Tweet from Garcetti, right? Mayor's office. Don't type in mayor's office on Twitter, Eric. Also, like, guys, it's so weird. Why are we getting our information off of Twitter and off of YouTube? There has to be a different way. Okay. Perfect. It is. It is the 8th. Well, this does not say much, does it? Okay, I'm going to send this to my boss. Because we were contemplating it because I couldn't find this. My phone, Joseph. I'm like, go back the other way. I screenshotted it long ways. All right, fine. It is the 8th. Yay. How late is it? No, it's fine. Text him. Okay. What is happening here? Nope. All right. Well, anyway. Ooh, guys, this is interesting. My phone does something where it like highlights the text for me. This could be helpful in my new YouTube videos when I put them out. There was an EDD news release I didn't even do recently. Okay. Well, we'll do Adams and then I'm hopping off for the night. Adam says, I got a message saying I got new action items, but I'm done with EDD. What does it mean? Ooh, this is a good question to end this stream on, guys. So if you were paid conditionally, the EDD may still need to have a phone determination with you. Also, and this EDD news release went out a long time ago. For people on PUA unemployment claims, they're going to be asking for proof of employment. They haven't done that yet. They, in a news release, alluded to the fact, or they stated that they would be asking for proof of employment. Proof of employment is different than income verification. Proof of employment can, in other states, right? We haven't even seen the list of what the EDD is going to accept as proof of employment yet. In other states, something like an offer letter from an employer would count. Bank statements, a business plan, that kind of thing. Proof of income. I'm self-employed and was getting unemployment, but not more. So I would, Myri, could you use, and I don't know if this is everything that would count, but could you use the 1099G that we got from unemployment, could you use, what's the other word? Like, can you print some of your weekly certifications and show them that that's what you got? Okay, that one I don't know. I don't know what the housing is key people will ask you on the interview. Anyway, I do need to get going tonight. Okay, so it's not necessarily job searches. So for PUA, proof of employment. Oh, interesting. Squid Game. So I work inside of like a mall, and you can't wear face masks inside the mall. So anything like a Scream costume, a Joker costume, anything where they can't see your face to identify you, not allowed even inside the mall on Halloween. So that's, it's for the kids' protection. Like, what if like a creeper came into the school and you didn't know it was a creeper because they had the mask on? Like, what if it was like not a student? So I feel like that's for people's protection. Good night, KAFLA. I haven't even watched Squid Games because I'm not sure if it's too scary. It's asking for my unemployment 1099G, but it's not ready. So try, what about the one from 2020? Did you get it in 2020? It should be available for 2020. And then just see if you can print, or even like if you can take screenshots with your phone of like, like the payment history page. Just say, hey, the 2021 one isn't ready yet, but here's a screenshot of what I was paid in 2021. But you might want to call and make sure that that would cover everything that they need, because they don't want to tell you wrong on that and then like mess it up. But you should be able to download 2020's 1099G, and 2021's is not ready, but maybe a screenshot of your payment history if you're not able to print that out. Devonte, hello. If you have pending payments and you have to wait for a phone interview, is there a way I can get them paid? You're going to want to email your assembly member is really going to be the best bet. I think I saw you actually on one of the claimer web pages, so I'm glad you found the channel. The assembly members often can help you even when your claim is messed up, and they can get the ball rolling faster even than if you called the EDD yourself. So on that note, email your assembly member. Proof of employment, though, that is for before you started your claim. PUA claims were granted to people who hadn't actually done work. Like, let's say you were a college student and you had a job offer, and let's say you got the job offer in December of 2019, and then your job offer was supposed to start April 1st of 2020. And so like you were traveling, you're in Peru, you're going to Machu Picchu. I'm going to sneeze. You're going to go to Machu Picchu, you're going to take a bunch of pictures, and then when you come back from your 4 months between when you graduated college in December of 2019 and you're going to start your job on April 1st of 2020, and March 15th, 2020, you got a letter saying that they had to retract your job offer because the business is closed due to the pandemic. They're looking for that. They might be looking for that job offer. They're going to be looking for proof that you had an offer of employment, or that you were self-employed in order to get those benefits, but they haven't asked for that yet. Okay, yes, you can say that you had zero income and then upload EDD 1099G for 2020. That should automatically make you eligible for housing is key. All right, you guys. Okay, so Miri, so KAFLA, who works for an assemblyman and has given nothing but great advice, says that you could enter 0 for income and you self-attest. Or if you received a W-2 for wages earned the first 3 months of 2020, try that. What about a tax? Yeah, you said you're 1040. Okay. You guys, if you need to replay this, you can rewind even after I end it. But I've been going for an hour and a half, and I just got home from work, and I still need to eat dinner. It's late to eat dinner. Oh, well, this is part of the reason why I'm a little chonky, also because I'm not exercising enough. All right, guys, have a good night. Thank you so much for watching Shelly's Millions. I feel like this was a really good stream, and I'm glad you guys all joined me here tonight. All right, have a good night. KAFLA TV is the star. Please check out his channel. All right, you guys have a good night.